Thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to Rivers State. So there has been crisis engulfing the state because of the outgone local government council chairmen insist that their tenure has been elongated by virtue of the amendment of the Rivers State local government area law by the pro-Wike lawmakers whose seats are now declared vacant. This has vexed majority of Rivers people who are ready to ensure that the local government council chairmen do not remain in office after the expiration of their 3-year tenure. Now, joining us to give us an opinion on his views is a legal practitioner, Dumotien Douglas Courier. He'll be joining us from Rivers State. Good morning, sir. Okay, I'm told the signal is poor right now. We're trying to hear. I thought I had him, but we'll come to him in a minute. Let's come to you, ladies. I know this crisis has been ongoing. The pro-Wike, the anti-Wike, those who are believing in the governor, all the drama has been happening going back and forth. But today's papers, which you took up, Abigail, was talking about the issue concerning the local government chairmen who are saying they insist on staying because the pro-Wike lawmakers had extended the tenure. And they are saying that since their seats have been vacant, but is it people or the institution? I mean, I get really worried.
Okay, so that's why we talk about our judicial system and people losing interest and confidence in the workability of the judicial system. Now, it is for local government chairmen, they are supposed to stay in the office for 3 years, and after 3 years, another set comes in. So for this particular one, there was a law by Martin Amefule that rules that if you as a local government chairman, you are in office and at the expiration of your tenure, another election has not been conducted, you can stay for another 6 months pending when the new set will be elected. But you know the tussle between Wike and Sim Fubara. Another ruling came lately that also said that no, you can't actually stay. It cancelled that elongation of your tenure. So this happened, and then June 17th, because they were inaugurated, they were sworn in June 18, a bit thereabout, in 2021. So June 17th was the last day in office. But the local government chairmen are refusing to leave office, citing the instance of that Amefule ruling that they can actually, that they can stay for another 6 months. And the governor is saying, no, it can be done. On June 19th, which was on a Wednesday, they invited different caretaker committee people to come in, candidates to come in for screening. And most of them have since been sworn in and inaugurated to be the caretaker committee chairpersons till there's an election. So there's a new set, but the old ones have refused to go. Yeah. So the fight in Rivers State is now between the old ones refusing to go and the new ones wanting to start, at least for this time.
But it gets back to the issue of systems in place. I mean, I don't know, what are your thoughts, Tope, in this?
So for me, when I think about Rivers, I just think that it's important that when you are done with your time, let somebody else take charge. And once we don't have a clearly defined leadership, is a real problem. If we don't have a clearly defined leader, there will be confusion within the state. And it's important that the previous governor allows the current governor have his way. I'm also worried about the fact that we can't go to the courts and trust the system. It's very worrisome because that's the point of call. If I feel I'm being slighted, there's injustice happening, I want to go to the court and know that the court would tell me your case was already in another place. Yeah. It's like when two of my children come and report themselves to me. I'm like, I know what you were saying. You have already reported to your dad. Don't come and meet me. That is an issue we need to resolve within our judiciary system. Besides, a lot of the people within the non-politicians within Rivers have strongly given their voice of support to the current governor. So I think that already should show body language to whoever is trying to hold on to power that this thing has moved. What I'm happy about, though, is I have family in-laws that live there, and the information I've gotten is it's a political crisis. It's not affecting business, it's not affecting individuals. So it's just a media tug of war, and they would resolve themselves so that everybody is still going on and doing what they want to do. So that brings me peace that they have not allowed whatever political crisis has.
But it's actually affecting business because as of Wednesday, the place was rowdy. Everyone came out, and we could see it even on social media. Factions, police, IYC, and the rest of them trying to drag this whole stuff. So the factions, you know, when they say two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that usually suffers.
True.
So this one wants to prove that I'm the governor, you have to let me be. And the other one wants to prove that, oh, I put you there, you have to pay me some sort of...
Let me let you jump in here, because I'm told our guest is around. Go ahead.
If it's around, let's...
Hello, are you there? Mr. Kuri, are
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly, ma.
Oh, thank you very much for joining us. So we had a bit of technical issues linking up with you earlier. So we're talking about what's happening in Rivers State, and we needed you to give us some clarity. I know you're a lawyer, legal practitioner, and this is just your personal opinion, but just share with us your own thoughts as regards what's happening, especially currently with the local government chairman and the governor, who is insisting that they must leave their offices because their tenure was over.
Okay. The truth is that the power talk is about control for the future. The former governor, who is now the minister of the FCT, he wants to lay control of the states. Now, the local government chairman, their tenure elapsed 17th of June, because they were sworn in 18th of June 2021. So their tenure elapsed 17th of June. Now, before their tenure expired, through the assembly led by Nyesom Wike, who is a pro-Wike lawmaker, they are former members anyway, they are no longer members because they defected. Now, the assembly amended section 9 sub 2 of the Rivers State Local Government Areas Law to the effect that if at the expiration of the year tenure of this local government chairman and the RISEC, that is the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, was unable to conduct election for newly elected chairman and their members, or if for whatever reason the newly elected local government chairman were not sworn in, the assembly is by virtue of that amendment enabled to extend, that is elongate the tenure of this outgoing chairman and their councillors to a period not exceeding 6 months at any period, at each period. So now that amendment has been nullified.
Okay.
Don't you understand?
Yeah.
That amendment has been nullified by a ruling of a state high court. So as it stands now, that is not the law, and the tenure has elapsed. Now, to think of it, as at the time when these assembly members amended that law, we are the assembly members. This Nyesom Wike and the 26 others, they were not in the eyes of the law. They were not members of the assembly. They are defected. Don't you understand?
Yeah.
Their seats had been declared vacant because Wike is using them as a stooge. Both the assembly members and the local government chairman, whose tenure just elapsed about a week ago. So he's just using them as a stooge to cause mayhem in the state.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, right. So we get okay, go ahead.
So my question would be the judiciary. Where is the independence of the judiciary in and respect for the judiciary in Rivers State? How is the FCT minister all the way from Abuja able to do this? You know, why is the court ruling not taking effect? You know, who is more powerful than the judiciary in Rivers State, that whatever it has stated is not taking effect in the state?
Nobody's above the law. That is just the truth. Now, about this local government tenure elongation problem. Now, these people are insisting, because the bottom line is that they are insisting that the assembly members who are no longer members, those are Martin and Mewule and the rest, they are still members. So if they remain as lawful members of the assembly, it means the law made by these assembly members is valid. So their tenure is extended. That is the argument. And now, because some months before the expiration of their term, they were insisting that, like for someone like Samuel Wonosike, also called Ishi Bambe, he himself and Barrister Chidi Lloyd, who is of Emwa local government, they and some other chairmen, they were insisting that at the expiration of their term, they will not leave office. That law, which is not as extended their tenure, they are not going to leave office now. So their supporters and those who are also supporting Sim had a clash on Moma GA. In fact, Samuel Wonosike, when he went to the council secretariat, he was stopped because the IG of police ordered the anti-riot police officers to take over all the 23 council secretariat to prevent a breakdown of law and order. Now, but what the problem I have with the order, the directive given by the IG of police is that he said the police officer should take charge over the council secretariat until there is a judgment. Okay. For me, the IG of police acted on a wrong premise in the sense that there is already a subsisting order that says no to tenure elongation, that law amended by the Martins and Mewule and the other 26 of lawmakers, that law is not
in effect. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Let me go ahead.
One question: how are the Rivers people reacting to this situation so far?
In your opinion?
Rivers people are in support of the governor.
They are in support of Sim.
Very well. Yes, Sim. Yes, they are in support of the governor. If you recall that after the local mission with the attorney expired, I think a day or two after, at Obiakwa, which is the AG of the FCT minister, his state was by his own people, by his security people, not a just Calabari or Africa or any job, by his own people, to tell you that they are sick and tired of this man. Wow. By his own people, his local times was brought down. What does it tell you?
So are you saying they are tired of Wike or Sim? Which of them?
Wike. People are happy with Wike because the Rivers people now see him as a savior. Let me just, I know I'm veering off, but state something that's very important.
I'm a bit confused.
Mr. Kuruye.
We're a bit confused. I didn't get that part well.
Who are people happy with, Sim or Wike?
Siminalayi Fubara, Joseph Fubara, the governor. Rivers people, majority of Rivers people are in support of the governor.
Okay, that's according to your opinion as a private legal practitioner. Just making sure.
Let me ask your opinion as well. And so, in a situation like this, where the governor finds himself, in this sort of situation, has there been any time it has happened in Rivers State? What did previous governors do, where there seemed to be someone that had more power than the governor? And if there hasn't been any situation, what would you advise the governor to do so that they can bring peace and order back to Rivers State?
Okay, there's been a similar situation like this. When Rotimi Amaechi was the governor of Rivers State, then Wike was a junior minister under former President Goodluck Jonathan. Honorable Rotimi Amaechi had an issue with First Lady, the wife of former President Goodluck Jonathan, and it snowballed into a lot of things. And Wike also played a dangerous role because he was ambitious. He had an ambition to become governor in 2015. So now, when he made himself available to be used by some people who do not mean well for the state, so now Wike at that time had some assembly members who were in support of their name. Some of them are no longer in support of him. They are even regretting. For instance, Honorable Vance Bibi, who is now the caretaker chairman of the local government, he supported Wike back in 2013, 2015, when the fight was on between Wike as minister and Rotimi as governor. Okay. But because Wike had the support of the federal government, and again, Rotimi Amaechi conducted himself in such a way that Rivers people are no longer happy with him. Like he has disrespected the president then in a lot of ways. So Rivers people backed
Wike back then.
Now supporting the former president. So because of that, Wike prevailed. But however, the assembly was unable to impeach Rotimi Amaechi because when Rotimi Amaechi saw that, he quickly moved the House of Assembly into the government house and gave them a space to operate. You understand?
Yeah.
So those pro-Wike lawmakers, they could not come into the government house and try to impeach the governor. So Wike did not succeed then. it did not succeed.
So presently,
even this
we
Wait,
time-
one second. Let me let Toko
Okay.
jump in here.
So I wanted to ask, it seems like there's always a case, Rivers, this is the style for Rivers. There's always
Crisis
a
after
back-to-back crisis whenever there is change in power. So when would the citizens of Rivers, based on the previous experiences, expect smooth sailing, good governance, less politicking to start within the state?
Okay, I believe this battle, this crisis, this power battle, it will continue until when Wike is ready to stop. Because Wike has an ambition in 2027. He wants to become president or in 2031. And I pray that Tinubu should be very careful of Wike because Wike, you cannot trust Wike. Wike has an ambition.
You are very opinionated about this matter, sir.
Okay, so I see. I mean, that's why I kept saying that it's your private opinion, and this is not has nothing to do with any party or any situation. But what my own issue is Nigerian people, because at the end of the day, it's about Nigerians, it's not about any party, any faction, and any group. And because, as Toko had said, this is almost like this thing has happened over years, and we've all kind of seen these stories play out and how it played out. There's always that hand of godfatherism influence in River State. Yeah. Do you think, as a lawyer, that the people of River State are able to vote in leaders who can be less partisan and more focused about the people? Because the reason why I ask this is when lawmakers sit in and make laws, and then people try to implement the laws, and somebody says, no, you can't implement it because we're going to change the law. Mm-hmm. Why is it so difficult for people to respect a law that has been enacted by a legal entity? Because everybody in this party, they were all voted for. These are people who were actually put in there by they're representative of the people. So if the law says this law has been revoked, why is it so difficult for the people who are there as local government chairmen to excuse themselves, respecting the entity of the legislature? I don't. That's a problem for me. So is it that the kind of people are electing, are we sure of the kind of people we are putting in office, and then are the Nigerian people who live in River State understanding the need of the right kind of leaders to lead them? I mean, I'm just confused because this thing keeps happening over and over again. How do we get Nigerians in that state to understand the importance of the kind of leadership that we have? I don't know.
The problem is from the primaries. Normally, we have indirect and direct primaries. Now, these assembly members, all the local government members, they were handpicked singularly by the former governor.
Oh.
So for that reason, they owe their loyalty to him. They don't even see what he's doing to the state. In their eyes, everything he's doing is right because they want to continuously pledge their loyalty to him. So the problem is, from the moment when all the candidates are handpicked by the governor, assuming you allow the party faithfuls in a direct lesser option, if it were possible, in a primary where those who are going to represent us at the National Assembly or State House Assembly or as local government chairman or council, if the people we are allowed, party members were allowed to elect them to vote for them, or as delegates they voted for these people. You see that when they get to the National Assembly or the State House Assembly, they will be more responsible because they were handpicked solely by one individual. So they continue to vote.
There's been a lot of handpicking for years. I mean, it seems like a lot of people have been handpicked.
Are you saying there was no election during the primaries?
There should be the electoral should be amended to ensure that that every candidate for any particular election there must be primary must be seen to be conducted.
Okay, so I want to understand something. There was an election on 21st of April 2021 that brought in the local government chairman. There was an election. So when you say handpick, what do you mean?
Primaries.
March should be March. The election was in March.
Okay. March,
So how were they handpicked when there was an election?
What I'm saying is that they were handpicked. There was no primary. They were handpicked. They were handpicked by the governor. Well, you understand?
Yeah.
Well, for security reasons, but can there be security issues across?
What? Are you there? Can you hear us? Because the line seems to be breaking up.
Okay.
Because there's always this invisible hand. Like I've been hearing Wike, but Wike has not said anything concerning this in a while. I know a lot of people have been saying that he's the one behind it. We know, but It is the invisible hand of Wike that has been always there. He has not officially responded. He has not really come out to say anything. Do you think him coming out to speak would help to douse the tension, or you rather him just stay behind and not even come out at all?
Yeah.
To come out to speak. In fact, he's the one using them. They are instruments in his hand. Understand? Now, look at what they are trying to do now. There is a plan by the outgoing government chairman and the assemblymen whose seats have been declared vacant. They are planning to organize a protest that the IG of police should direct the anti-riot police officers to leave the council secretariat so that they will be going in and occupy the council secretariat. And now, AGON, that is the Association of Local Government in Nigeria, the River State chapter, the chairman, which is Ishemantin Ezegunwo, has come up to make a press statement that they are not in support of that. It is not for the interest. What they are targeting is that once they make protests, they would provoke the supporters of SIM, pro-SIM supporters, which is the majority of the people in River State, to respond. When they respond, there will breakdown of law and order, and that will move the president to declare state of emergency.
One last question from me. One last question from me. You seem to be, from your conversation, you seem to be in support of what Sim Fubara is doing, not Wike.
Yeah.
Why did you take this position? What were the things that aided your decision on siding Sim as against Wike?
Let me make myself very clear. I've been a supporter of Wike right from 2013, 2014 up to last year. I've been a supporter. In fact, I've been one of the persons who at all costs defend Wike. But where maybe if he does something obviously bad, I will just keep quiet. I will not talk. But I love him. Not because I'm a John man, that's why I'm supporting Sim Fubara. Not because my leader, Alabama, who is the leader of the Sim government, is a friend, President Governor. Because Sim is doing what is right for River State. Sorry, let me just a minute. Let me just say something very important. Remember when Wike was the governor of River State, our IGRO, internal general revenue, was around 10 to 12 billion every month. Now, when Sim became governor, the IGRO dwindled up to the point of 6 billion naira. Sim started asking questions, the linchpin of all these crises. That is the beginning of all these crises. I don't want to go into that so much. Now, Sim presently, whenever he's doing a transparency briefing, like when he Calabari Road, which worth more than 225 billion naira, the Trans-Calabari Road that no governor has been able to achieve. Same as awarded. And the interesting thing is that he said he's not going to borrow. It will be from our internally generated revenue. And you know, that road is directly linking my mother's village, my village, to Port Harcourt. In fact, it's crossing from Port Harcourt to my village, Ograma, where I was born and raised. Now, I'm not supporting him because he is crossing a bridge to my village. Now, why I'm supporting him is that Sim made us to understand that as governor, the state is realizing the least we are realizing as
IGR
is what?
We lost that. We didn't get that.
The network is really
bad.
poor.
All right, so
What I was going to ask, I wanted to ask, that from the history that he gave us, it seems that it depends on, like in River State, they
go with who is in power.
Yeah, they go with, they go with who they like. There's the Constitution, and then there's River State Constitution. So, like, if we're to think about, many times we talk about local solutions to some of our issues. Do we think that River State is ready for democracy and respect of the rule of law? Or do we think that there has to be some injection of local policies that is more familiar to the people, that will help them understand, leadership and respect leadership? I don't know.
I don't think it's about who is in power. I think it's who benefits the masses more. Funnily enough, when Wike and Amechi had that fight, people were siding Wike. And by the time he left office, he already left projects that people were happy
about.
for. even though right now people are now tilting towards the present governor, because after Wike left, a lot of persons have seen some lacunas. They've seen that this man, maybe if he used 10 naira, do work, and then 15 naira. So Rivers people are saying, we don't want that godfatherism. You've done yours. The way you fought Amechi, Amechi went back, withdrew, and allowed you. You should allow this person to do his work and not interfere, because your interference is affecting the masses.
I guess. That's what do you think Nigerians
are able to? Real thing, though. I feel that the consistency in Rivers is they don't want godfatherism. No. So they didn't want it with Peter Odili. They didn't want it with Rotimi Amechi. They don't want it with Wike.
No, but they wanted it under the Jonathan regime. That's what brought Wike. Yes, because there's a relationship, from what he said, there's a relationship with Wike and that administration, the presidency of that administration. So for me, I feel that there are institutions, there's the constitution, and there are institutions and systems that we should follow. It should not be based on, I don't want godfather. If the court says this, we have gone to court. The court has said this. Respect it. That's what democracy is about.
Yeah, I get.
But court will say one thing. It's as if the court is just there's no respect.
You think Nigerians just like underdogs in this? Like Nigeria,
once they have oppressed you in Rivers, they will support you.
Exactly. So that's
the template. So when they oppressed Amechi, everybody supported Amechi. They oppressed Wike.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the constitution. It's similar to what Mary says. It's not about the constitution. It's about who is chancing who. You support the one that is being cheated. Yeah, that's really.
We won't even overrule the existence of ethnicity.
Is that constructive? Is that going to help us to develop?
Based on the fact that the data demand just released now, IGR has dropped. And that's why I asked the question that when would they stop the politicking and start facing governance? Because we have this current governor demolishing houses, and I spoke to people in Rivers and they say they don't mind though, he should demolish everything. I'm like, are you thinking about the fact that it is going to cost you the money that should go and give you basic things to rebuild these things? Why are you so unbothered about the fact that they are demolishing? They just feel like you should show the person, show them. If you want to demolish, they say right now, demolish everything you want
to. Which is the same thing that happened during the elections. We just want someone to come and destroy all of them, because we're in that destruction, we're in that mode of come and beat everybody, or come and lock them, not concern me, lock them up. Beat them up, because that's not what we're going to use to develop our nation.
Yeah.
That's how we get nation.
And in response to you, I say, should they stop the politicking and focus? But the people seem to enjoy the politicking.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what the people prefer.
You see always something. You have to give people what
that's what so
not what they want. So we can all say, well, let's fight them. But you see, what you need is governance. What you need is leadership. They don't see that now. All they're saying, don't let them chance you. Let us fight, let's support them. But it's beyond that.
And the sad thing about this is the masses that suffers. When we talked about the 100 days in office by Sim, he said that he just started working 3 months ago. That means you spent like 7 months or how many? Yes. About 8, 9. How many?
I have to pause you for a second. I'm told that our guest is back because we had lost him for a moment. Mr. Kuroye, are you still there? Hello, sir.
I can hear you, ma'am.
Sorry, we didn't know you were back already. So let me have your final word. We have to wrap up. What's your final word today on this topic?
My advice is to Wike, it is never too late to do the right thing. Wike should understand that there's this man who said, Louis G. Branches, he said the most important political office is that of the private citizens. Wike should understand that the majority of Rivers people are no longer with him. His interest is inimical to the interest of the state. He should understand that if he succeeds to have President Tinubu to declare state of emergency in Rivers State, and if it is eventually approved by the National Assembly, you should understand that Rivers people will suffer. The governor will remain out. Legal consequences is that there will be restriction of movement, certain human rights will be violated.
All right, thank you very much. We have to wrap up now. We've been speaking with the legal practitioner, Mr. Dumotein Douglas Kuroye, just sharing his own personal views on the crisis going on in Rivers. That's all we can take on today's show. Hope we've learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.